Hello student, how are you? I hope you are safe and healthy. Today I am going to introduce the subject that is accountancy, one of the important subject in commerce. Let's begin with the subject. I hope you will enjoy the subject. After going through this lesson, you will be able to understand the meaning and nature of accounting, the difference between various type of accounting, explain the importance of accounting, know the advantage and limitation of accounting, and some basic term of accounting. So these basic things you will learn it, and that's what meaning of accounting. Accounting is the art of recording, classifying and summarizing in a significant manner in terms of money, transaction and event which are in part at least of financial character and interpreting the result thereof. So accounting is basically it is a art of recording, classifying, summarizing the financial data, financial information which is in terms of money it is expressed, and interpreting the result to the user. That is the basic definition given in the books. So we'll be learning more detail later part. So next part is meaning of bookkeeping. It is a part of accounting. It's involve identification of financial transaction, measurement of such transaction in monetary terms, the recording of such transaction in the books of accounts, and classifying the transaction and event by way of posting them into individual ledger account. So the bookkeeping is basically the part of accounting. It involves certain steps, certain process of accounting, and that process is basically the clerical in nature. It is just identification, recording, and up to the classification. That part will be doing the bookkeeping part. Now meaning of accountancy. Accountancy is a systematic knowledge of accounting which helps to deal with various aspects of accounting. It educates the user on how to maintain the books of accounts and to summarize the accounting information that is to be communicated to the user. So accountancy basically it is a subject over here where we are learning the basic of accounting and the bookkeeping, accounting and bookkeeping. We also able to analyze the accounting information as per required to the users of accounting information, as well as it helps to teach you that how to take the decision in certain cases in financial matter of an organization. So let's go more about it, accounting, bookkeeping and other part, the next slide. Look at over here, one code is given which will be very important. If you remember it, it will become easier to learn the meaning of accounting and bookkeeping basically. So this one is IMRC SAC. I'm repeating again, IMRC SAC. So what this I stands for? I stands for identification of the business transaction. Different transaction is there. So different transaction, purchase, sales, expenses, payment of salary. This transaction you have to identify it. Next one is that transaction you have to express in terms of money. Obviously, all we are doing the business accounting and it's require the give and take, that is money must be there. Next one is whatever transaction you have identified in terms of money basically, that you have to record it. Where you will record it? There are different books are there in the accounting part, that is journal, known as journal, and then cash book and other day book is there. So we have to record this transaction. Next one, we have to classify it, and classification will be done. Whatever journal or day book is prepared, from there we'll prepare the ledgers. There is another books of accounts, so that is ledger. Next one is the summarization. So this summarization, basically after the journal and ledger, you have to summarize to prepare one trial balance, from their financial statement. That is, you have to find whether your business earn profit or loss. So that is the next step called summarization. Next one is basically the analysis and interpretation of financial information. You have to analyze it. So why you have earned less profit, why you incurred less, all these analysis part will come later part. And then we communicate, C for communicate, communication of the financial information to the different user. Different users are there, we will be learning later who are the user, who is looking for your information, business information, that will be learning later. So this is basically the process of accounting, IMRC SAC. So now the first four character, that is IMRC, is basically called bookkeeping. So this is bookkeeping. So as we learned in the previous definition that bookkeeping is the part of accounting. So this part, why it is part? Because it taking only the four steps, four process, and beyond that certain other part is there, which is the summarizing, analyzing and communication. It is doing by the accounting part. So that's the basic process of accounting. I hope you student understand the accounting and bookkeeping part. And what is the difference between that? You will find bookkeeping involve the identification of transaction, measurement of transaction in terms of money, recording of transaction in the journal, cash book and other day book, and summarization of the transaction or the recorded data into different ledgers. So this is the process of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is basically the clerical nature. It is routine work daily, and its lower level of accounting staffs are prepared this bookkeeping. Basically the accountant, cashier and low level in management, there are those who are low level staff, they are involved in this process. It is basically the clerical and routine work. And managerial work, when it is comes the higher level of management, managerial work is there, they are doing the accounting part. That means beside, after bookkeeping, then they start accounting part, analyzing, interpretation and communicating the financial information. So that is the basic difference between the accounting and bookkeeping. Now we are going to learn the objective of accounting, and the first part is that whatever business transaction is there, we have to record it. Why we are recording? Because we cannot remember all these transactions what is happened in the past. So it is basic things of an organization to record, systematically record day wise in a chronological order. You have to record all these transactions. And after recording all transaction, what is the objective? That you have to calculate whether you have earned profit or loss after doing your business operation throughout the year. So that is the, you if you earn profit, you get motivated. If you incurred loss, then obviously you have to take corrective measure, how to process the future process in future, how to move ahead or compete with the situation, face the situation. All these things will help you by knowing or calculating the result of operation, that is profit or loss. And doing this one, you will be also coming to know, you have, your objective is to know that by doing all these business operations throughout the year, whether your organization has purchased assets or you have obligation to payment of liability or not. That is called ascertaining the financial position of the organization. Next part, after doing all these things, you have to communicate the information to the user. that again I am telling that users will be learning who will be the users are there. We have another slide is there, we'll be explaining detail. So main part that we doing after doing all this accounting process, you have to communicate the result, the decision to your users. Different users are there, so that is basic objective of the accounting. Type of accounting, we have financial accounting. These are basically the branch of accounting, financial accounting. We have cost accounting, and another one is management accounting. The financial accounting is basically deal with the preparation of financial statement, which basically the profit and loss of the business activities. We have financial position of the organization, as I discussed it, that assets and liability, the present assets and liability position, and then production, how much sales, financing, etc. Financing means you are taking loan from the any financial institution or low or not. This part also look after the financial accounting. Cost accounting is the process of determining the accumulating the cost of goods and services. Whatever goods and services you are producing it, and that goods, the cost accounting helps you to determine the price, MRP. As but student, you know that when you going to buy any commodity, it is written MRP. So this MRP basically decided by the cost accountant, and that that involved, there is a lot of processor there. With that process they decide the MRP. So the basically the pricing of the product, cost accounting is basically looks after pricing of the product, and then product mix, and then profit volume decision, what would be the production so that the profit will come how much, expansion of the business if you are expanding your business, and replacement decision, etc. You purchase one assets, now you have to replace it for updation, for expansion, so that another decision is taken by the cost accountant. Management accounting, it facilitates the management by providing accounting information for decision making. So management basically they are responsible to take the decision in favor of the organization. So what are these? Basically they are look after the working capital management, capital structure of the company or the organization, capital budgeting. All details are there, which will be learning in the higher class. Basically that is the working capital management, capital structure, that means owner capital or debt capital. Own capital means equity, preference share. Debt capital means debenture. Capital budgeting means there is a whether any assets is beneficial for the organization, will be giving the positive return or negative return. Okay, all these things will be doing by the management accounting. So this part you will be learning in the higher classes. And first over here we will be going to learn the first part, that is financial accounting, that is the profit and loss of the business activities, and the financial position of the organization, that is balance sheet, and then production, sales, finance. This part, the first part, class 11 and 12 will be look after. The cost accounting and management accounting will be learning in your higher class in the graduation level and more. Now, as we are discussing every time that who are the accounting user. Accounting user are basically the internal user and the external user. Internal user are basically owners, whether you have earned profit or loss. Who is be going first? The person will be interested to know, that is the owner, because he is putting his investment capital into the business, his effort, your all these things they are putting into the business. Obviously he is the first one who is going to know whether your business is on profit or loss. So that is the first part. Next one is manager, because management is responsible to take the decision in favor of the organization. So manager also going to know that whether you have earned profit or loss during the financial year. Next one is the staffs. Obviously they are the one who is going to know whether your business is doing well or not, because their job security is involved over there. If you are not doing well, obviously they will be in the insecure position, that they have to lose their job. So that's why they are looking for your growth and expansion of the business. If you are doing it, they will be happy because they will be getting more salary, promotion will be there. So that's what they are interested, that how you are doing your business. Next one is the internal auditor, those who are auditing your business. Internal auditor is they are recurringly, they are in the periodic wise, they will be auditing your accounts whether you are doing correctly or not. Now next, external user. Obviously external user, first one is the customer, what you are doing, what production you are producing, whether you are earning profit, whether you are uh, selling come with the new product or not, whether your growth expansion is there or not. Customer are obviously they are interested, because if you are in a from the small organization to bigger organization, they expect the new product, they expect the good product at lesser price, quality product. So these are the information the customer is also looking for it. Next one is creditors. Creditors means those who are supplying you the goods on credit to your business. If you are doing well, you are earning profit, obviously your creditors will be supplying goods to you on credit. If you are making loss, obviously they will not supply you goods on credit, because if you are loss means if you are not able to make the payment to the creditors, they will be in a loss. That's why creditors interested to know. Next one is investor. Investor are putting their money into your business. They expect that in timely you are making payment of interest. If you are in the good position, your financial position is good, you will be make payment interest in time. But if you are incurring loss, you will take time, so investor will be in risks. That's why they are interested to know your information, the accounting information. Next one is bank, from where you are taking loan. Bank also interested to know how you are performing, because they are providing their funds to your organization. They, if you are doing well, you may approach for loan. If you have taken loan, you have to make the payment of interest and principal in time. Next one is government. Government also they are looking for your business organization, because how you are doing it. If you are doing with good, you are innovative, you are coming with a new idea, new research uh, and development you are established, and come up with the new idea, good business, and then with the new idea, then government will encourage you. That economic policy also uh, will be increase your policy will be more favor to the economy. That's what the government is interested over here. Now external auditor, after end of the financial year, the auditor will be there to audit your accounts, whether you have uh, done fairly or not, or any misappropriation of fund is there or not. They are the one who will be auditing your account. So they are basically the user of accounting information. Now advantage of financial performance, advantage of the accounting. So this part, that financial performance, that is profit, and profit earned or loss incurred during an accounting period, and financial position at the end of the accounting period is clearly understandable from the accounting record. So that is the first advantage. Management is able to make the effective business plan and take appropriate decision relating to the business affair based on the recording the accounting information. So that is another, that management will take the uh, all planning to make the different plan and take the appropriate decision. They depends on this accounting information. Now the systematic accounting record helps in settlement of income tax and GST, goods and service tax liabilities, because it is the evidence of correctness of transaction. So if you pay the tax, if there is any dispute is there, obviously the income tax officer or GST council or maybe GST inspector will come to visit your business, and they will look at the all these transaction from the beginning to end, and they are, if any discrepancy is there, they will be charging you or your business. Next one is bank and financial institution grants loan on the basis of the profitability trend and growth of the potential that evident from the statement maintained by the organizer. So obviously the bank, as I said earlier, that bank is the one external user who is looking your growth and development. If you are growing, then you require loan, and if you take the loan, bank will be expecting you are able to make payment of interest and principal in time. That's what another information they will look at your the record which you are maintaining it properly, you are recording or not. Record the statement maintained by the organization can be used as legal evidence in the event of scrutiny or investigation. If there is any dispute is there, that record, journal, ledger, cash book, all these records can be used as evidence of accounting information. Next one is this record maintain are helpful in the event of admission or retirement of partners in case of partnership firm, in order to distribute and allocate the respective share to give effect to the adjustment made. So this is how the advantage of financial. The limitation, the financial statement has certain limitations are there. So these are that the accounting records are not fully correct. So obviously if you are not providing the correct information, then obviously there will be certain error will remain as it is. So it depends on whether you are recording your transaction daily wise or systematically you are recording or not. If some records are missing or omitted, then obviously the record which you are maintain or financial statement which you have provided, that is the incomplete and the incorrect financial statement. Next one is accounting does not consider any qualitative element. You are earning profit, but then how you are getting that profit, it is not showing in the financial statement, because you have done lot of profit but you make at the simultaneously you make the environmental pollution, create you water pollution, you create water pollution, sound pollution, you have exploited your worker. So these qualitative aspects are not showing in the financial statement. So next one is the accounting ignores the price level change. It is basically the historical fact what happened last year or in the beginning of the year. You start the business and that profit, that purchase and sales in the beginning January, you are taking in the December and to find out your profit. So basically the price level January and price level December is different. That's what the this is and this information is ignored in the financial statement. It takes that whatever you have, that historical data, what you have done in the January or what you have done in the mid of the year, that is July, 1st July or maybe June. So this information also you are using in the December, and that's what we are. The accounting information may be realistic since the accounting record are maintained on the basis of accounting concept. Since the accounting record are maintained based on the accounting concept and convention, it is possible that the information may be not realistic information. So this is, and the next one is window dressing and the financial position. Some organization is there, they just give the information, they hide the information, they give you the information, misleading information, where by looking at the outside you will find they are doing good, they are in the better position, but internally they are sick or they are very weak in the financial position. So that's the limitation of the accounting information. The next part is qualitative characteristics of accounting information. The first one is reliability. The accounting information what you are providing to the user, it should be reliable and free from errors and bias, and everyone can trust the information which you are providing to the user. Next one is relevant. That relevant information to be provided to the user so that the user can take the positive decision when the decision making is required. Next one is understandability. The information which you are providing, everyone can able to understand. You are providing information and representing information in such a difficult manner, so no one can understand. That is useless. So the all these accounting information which you are providing to the user, that should be everyone can able to understand by looking at your information. And the next one is compatibility. Compatibility is the qualitative characteristics of the accounting information which you can compare with the interfirm and interfirm comparison. What is going on within your organization, what is going on the similar type of business organization that is within the domestic territory or maybe in the global situation. So that is you can compare it, that comparability, that you can compare your financial data with your own organization with the other organization. That is all these four: reliability, relevance, understandability and comparability. So this is qualitative characteristics of accounting information. Now we are going to learn certain basic accounting terms. The first term what we are going to learn, that is called transaction. Transaction basically the economic activities which affect the financial position of the business. It must have to be measured in terms of money, and for example sales of goods, paying of expenses, these are transactions. So you have to remember, whatever we are doing the accounting recording of data, it should be a transaction. It should be expressed in terms of money. It can be measured in terms of money, that is transaction. So any event where there is money involvement is not there, that will not be called transaction. Voucher, it is basically documentary evidence in support of transaction known as voucher. For example, when we are buying the goods, we ask for cash memo, we ask for payment receipts, etc. These are basically the documentary evidence and which we call the voucher. Capital, the amount which is invested by the owner in term of goods or maybe cash or maybe assets initially, and by the proprietor, that is known as the capital of the business. It is invested. The objective is to earn the profit. In other words, the excess of assets over liability is known as capital. Now next one is assets. All assets of the business having economic value are called assets. These resources help the business to earn the profit and future value. They are important in running the business and profession of businessmen. There are two types are there: fixed assets and current assets. So the assets basically the things which is belongs to you. As you purchase the books or maybe the copy, if you are going to, you sometimes you write in your copy, these books or this copy belongs to some your name, and then that means what? As you pay the money, legal tender, basically if you buy any assets, it belongs to, means your possesses, legal right possesses to you, and that is basically known as the assets. And if you are using it for long duration, that is known as the fixed assets. The assets, the things which you have bought it and you are using for long time, and that is known as fixed assets. If you are using for short time, it is known as current assets. As I give an example, that you bought books can be used for long duration. You can use it your future in further studies also. So you in future also, as long as you go with the and you are studying, if that books may help you, so it become long, it's a for long purpose you bought it, that is known as fixed assets. For example, we have a lot of example I have given: land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, vehicles. So all these are fixed assets because once you buy it, you go on using that assets year after year. That is fixed assets. Now some assets are there which you are using very short duration, maybe within a year or maybe within few years, 2 3 years, it can be used. And for example, raw material, finished goods, debtors, cash balance, bank balance, maybe this year or maybe next year it will be over. So that's called current assets. So uh, different type of assets as you learn it, that is fixed assets for longer duration, current assets for shorter duration. Next term is liability. Liability is basically the obligation of the business which you have to pay. that is the liability. Your obligation arises, you have to make payment. Suppose you have purchased goods today and you have said it that I will make payment tomorrow. So until you make that payment, it becomes your obligation. So that is your liability. And liability also classified into two parts. One is long-term liability, another one is current liability. So the long-term liability, that you have to pay that liability for long duration. After more than 1 year also you have to make the payment. Suppose you have taken the housing loan, and that once you construct it, and then it may be 10-20 years you have to make the payment of that loan. So that is the long term liabilities. You have taken the educational loan. After you completion of your education, once you get the job, then you have to pay it. So that is long term liabilities. Next one is short term liability. Very short period of time you have taken the loan, and that obligation is arise. For example, you have to make the payment to the creditors, the suppliers. That is your short term. You have to pay immediately since you have purchased the goods on credit. Bank overdraft. You have taken bank overdraft. Whatever balance is available with you, you have taken more than that. That's what you have to repayment that bank overdraft. And nowadays you know it that the credit card basic facility is credit card, that you have taken use the bank money, but within a certain time frame you have to make the payment, otherwise you will be charges high interest rate. So that are again obligation, short term obligation to the business organization. Next one is drawings. As like the capital is invested by the owner, then similarly when owner is withdrawing for his personal purpose anything from the business, that is known as drawings. They may withdraw the cash, they may withdraw goods, they may withdraw certain other assets also from the business for their own private purpose. Then anything private purpose, if they withdraw from the business, that is known as drawings. Next one is goods. Goods is basically the things which they are recurringly buying and selling for business purpose, for trading purpose, that is known as goods. The goods, say for example that the furniture furniture mart, furniture shop, they are buying the furniture for selling purpose, for resale purpose, and that is their normal activities. That furniture will be considered as goods. But if that furniture purchased by your organization to keep in the office, then it is known as the assets. So the goods, you have to make difference. The goods means the things or the items which you purchase and sells, or recurringly you are doing that one, and for your activity is that to make the profit from it, then it is known as the goods. The next term is purchase. The goods which were purchased for resale, basically resales, then it is purchase. That means the goods which you are purchased it for resales, not for keeping in the business as an assets. You are purchasing it and sell it. Again you purchase it, again sell it. So that goods, even as I said it, the furniture you purchase it, and then that furniture you are selling it, then that furniture will be known as goods, and since you purchase it, it known will be as purchase. So when we do the recording of data, these two are information, goods and purchase and sales. Basically when we will write it, these two terms. So this is basically, you have to remember that goods means, again I am telling repeatedly, goods means the things which you are selling and buying repeatedly, and that is your business, not keeping in the office or in your uh, administrative purpose. You keep it and you fix it for it, you are not reselling it, then it will not be considered goods, it will be considered as assets. And when that goods you purchase it, we write purchase, and when we sell it, we call it sell. So that is again that goods which you have purchased and you are selling it to make the profit, that is basically sales. Now purchase, which you have purchased it today, and if there is any damage, if you think it that it can be replaced, or maybe the wrong order you have placed, when it is return it, that is known as purchase return. Similarly the customer buying the goods from you and they put it wrong order to you, or they get the damaged one, they return the goods, that is known as sales return or return inward. Purchase return also known as return outward, and sales return is also known as the return inward. Now stock, you, whatever goods you have purchased it and then you sold it, and some part is left over at the end of the accounting year, that leftover part of the item or goods or raw material, they are known as the stock. So this is left out part, unsold goods is basically known as stock. It can be, if it is end, then it is called the closing stock. If it is the beginning, that closing stock this year will be opening stock next year. 2021 ka opening stock is basically 2020 ka closing stock. So the two type of stock you will find it, that is opening stock and closing stock. Then revenue, the amount which you have received by selling of the goods and services, that is basically known as revenue. The amount which you are selling it. Suppose you are selling the pens, and one pen cost is 10 rupees, and you are selling 100 pens, so 100 into 10, that is 1000, that is your revenue. So the next term is expenses. It is basically the cost incurred by the business for earning the revenue, and that basically payment of rent, payment of wages to the labor, payment of salary to the staff, interest on loan or bank overdraft. These are basically known as the expenses. Next one is expenditure. This amount is spending or incurring a liability for acquiring the assets or goods and services is called the expenditure. These expenditure are basically classified to, one is called revenue expenditure, another one is called capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure, when the expenditure benefit is received within the year, that is known as the revenue expenditure. For example, you are making the payment of rent, and that as you paid the rent, you can use it, that building, for a month, or you are paying it the yearly rent, then 1 year you are using that building. And similarly, payment of interest, you are making payment half yearly, yearly, quarterly, that interest you are paying it. Same way, the capital expenditure, when it is you are getting the return for more than 1 year, that is known as capital expenditure. For example, you incur the expenses for buying of machinery, but that machinery you are using year after year. The furniture you are buying it, you are using that furniture year after year, that is known as capital expenditure. Next one is profit. Profit, to everyone knows that one, it is basically the difference between the sales price and cost price. And sales price over here we are saying it revenue, and cost price is expenses. So the profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. Next one is gain. Gain is basically by selling of the non-recurring, it not selling of the assets, basically it is non-recurring in nature. The goods which you are selling it, that is comes the profit, but the gain you are selling, gain is the on the fixed assets. Remember these two terms, when you are selling the goods, then only you will get the profit. This profit is selling of goods, the on which you are doing the business, whereas gain is basically the selling of the fixed assets which you are uh, which you are using by spending the capital expenditure. And that one, when you are selling it, if there is the sales price is higher than the cost price, that gain, that amount is known as gain. Simple example is that you have your mobile phone, and that mobile phone you are using for 1 year. Thereafter you think it that I want to exchange your mobile phone, and you want to take one new phone, and while you are exchanging it, the old one, you are getting it more than the cost price which you have bought it earlier. And then you will be you will be getting certain amount extra. That extra money is known as the gain over here. So the profit and gains, you have to differentiate between profit and gains. Profit is by selling of goods and services, that goods on which you are doing business, you are recurringly you are purchasing and selling. But gain is basically non-recurring in nature. It is coming from the selling of fixed assets, selling of assets, and that assets, that extra money, extra benefit which you are getting, that is known as gain. The next term is known as loss. Loss, the just opposite of profit. When your cost price is more than the sales price, that is loss. Next one is discount. Discount is basically rebate is offered by the seller to the buyer, and these discounts are classified into the trade discount and cash discount. Trade discount are basically is offered to the customer for attraction. What basically I'm I can give you example over here that when you are moving to the market, you might have seen that there are certain placards are there, certain advertisements are there, that there is a 70% discount, 50% discount, buy one get one free. These are basically the offer given by the seller to the buyer for attract the customer, and this amount, that the discount amount, generally not recorded in the books of accounts. It will be just deducted from the sales price or mark price, and then the remaining price will be given to the seller. So that is trade discount. Next one is cash discount. This cash discount is offered by the seller to the to its debtor basically, or customer, to make the early payment if they bought the goods in credit, and if they want to make the payment, credit term is given for one month, and if the seller is required before 1 month some money, in that case they offer certain discount to the customer for early repayment. That amount is known as cash discount. Cash discount is entered in the books of accounts. So this part you have to remember. Discount two type: trade discount, cash discount. Trade discount is not entered in the, is just deducted from the mark price, but cash discount is offered for early repayment, it is entered in the books of accounts. We have next one is debtors, the person, firm or organization who to whom we are selling the goods on credit. Basically they have to pay the money in the future date. So that's the debtors. They are the customer, basically debtors are the customer whom we are selling the goods on credit. Creditors, they are also firm or person or organization from whom we are purchase goods on credit. Receivable, this is the total amount which is to be received, means in the future part over here you have to understand this one. Future is to be received is known as receivable. Similar way we have payables are there, the amount is to be paid. So this one, this term you have to is to be paid. This is the payable in the future date basically. So this is the receivable and payable. Now next one is entry, the recording of transaction in the books of accounts. Each are known as entry, like debit entry, credit entry, we'll be learning later. Okay, certain entries are there, we have to make it when we are writing systematically, systematic order, and then we have to pass the journal entry. Basically in the journal we write the journal entry. Next one is turnover, the amount of cash or credit sale during a particular year, that is known as turnover. Insolvent, when a person is declared insolvent, is bankrupt basically, or incapable for making a payment of its obligation or its liability, then the person is to be called insolvent. But then insolvent will be declared by the court, not by any individual person, that the person is insolvent. We cannot say it if he is not making the payment. That insolvent should be declared by the court. Bad debt, if the amount which you are given, I mean debtors or customer which you have sold goods on credit, and if they fail to pay that money in due time, or in due to the disability or insolvency, then the amount of loss which the business or businessman occurred, that is known as bad debt. Simple way, the amount which you have given to the debtors by selling of goods, by selling of the goods on credit, if that debtors is not able to make the payment of the required amount, then, and is not able to make the payment of dues due to the disability or insolvency. Insolvency, I said it that it should be declared by the court. So then the amount of that loss, which basically known as the bad debt. Next one is account. It is basically the list of transactions relating to a person, property, income, expenses. is called account. It is a tabular statement containing all the transaction and in the same nature in one place under common heading. It is in a systematic manner. It is basically the ledger account. Later part we will be learning that while we are recording the data, we have to similar nature data will be put in a tabular form, that is known as accounts. Now debit and credit. Debit and credit are two important terms to the commerce student basically, and that terms, I'll not say it's not having a particular definition for debit and credit. You just have to remember that debit means left side of the ledger account is known as debit and the right side of the ledger account is called credit. In short, it is known as DR and CR. Commission, it is the in a business activity a remuneration paid to the agent for his service is known. That's all the first chapter, that is introduction to accountancy. We'll be learning slowly the next chapter in the next video lesson, but then you have to learn carefully this basic information because it will be help you in the next. Unless you know these basic terms, you will not be proceed further. That's why you have to learn it, and I'll be sending you assignment and you have to do it, and as and when I'll ask you, you have to submit that lesson. Until then, bye. We'll see you in the next video lesson. Thank you.